Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Well, I'm in my garage right now. I can prove it. Here I am. Here are my toys, just kind of hanging out. And I am doing an update. Yes, it's been some time since I've talked about my Aston Martin. I had it for years now, and there's a question that should be asked. Does the experience change the more you have these? And so we're going to be talking about that today. But it didn't seem right just to speak in front of a camera and talk about it. No. What we're going to do is we're going to take this out on the road and discuss what are the positives, what are the negatives, what's the trepidation, and it is still just as exciting. Come on with me. Let's go take a ride. And away we go. All right, a couple of stats right away. This is a 2006 V8 Vantage. Bought it used, obviously, 2006, and I've had it for years, few years. But let's talk about this, because when I bought this had everything that I wanted. It had the correct color combination. It had all the bells and whistles that I wanted. But for me, this was it. This just brought me right back to Casino Royale 2006. No coincidence. And that moment when I saw his Aston Martin sitting in the parking lot, and I felt to myself, yeah, that's a destination journey for me. That's a toy that I could definitely get around and enjoy. And so here we are years later. So have things changed? Well, one thing right away that you should know about today is that it's not the perfect weather. And what do I mean by that? Was when I first had this delivered, and I remember driving it, I would look at the weather report. Was there rain? Was there potential for hail? Was there inclement weather of any kind? Was there construction on the way? In other words, was there anything that had the potential of me having the paint affected, creating anything but a perfect, gorgeous scenario around this car? Well, today it's going to rain, and it will rain on this car, and I'm okay with that. Now, I have a incredible ceramic coating on this car where the water beads off, so it's a little bit of a cheat. But you know something? I've gone through puddles. I've gotten mud on this car. I specifically purchased a very good power washer, one recommended for Aston Martins, because I want to drive this car. And that's the other thing. My first year, possibly even 2 years of having this, I'm almost embarrassed to say, I didn't drive it that much. I would drive it on special occasions, date nights, for example, things like that with my wife, rides in the country. But just to get up and go, to do work, or in this case, I'm going to a business lunch, I didn't do it. And what was I saving it for? I mean, yeah, I have a couple of other fun cars, but I don't know. I mean, it's that whole thing I preach to people of use these items that you buy. If you have a nice pair of sunglasses or a nice watch, a nice pair of shoes, wear them. They are tools. Yes, they're objects of art, but they're made to be worn. The designers of this car clearly created this car, all the different ergonomic beauty around it, all the dashboard, or the buttons, all the wheels and the alignment, to drive, to experience it, not to put it into a garage and look at it. And the worst thing you can hear from your wife when you have one of these is it's a garage queen. Ooh, you do not want to hear that ever. And I've heard that before. And well deserved, because I was treating it like a garage queen. Not anymore. This puppy is out and about. Now, I probably drive it at least 3 times a week. We're in spring, and we're going to be approaching summer. I may be even doing it more than that. There's another factor to keep into play here. We've been in lockdown. I haven't had a commute because my office has been closed for a long time. We've been all working from home. So what is a car? You know, a car is like a belt. What is a belt? Do you put a belt around your waist? I forget. But what is a car? People just weren't driving them. And that's a shame, because this is not a vehicle just to get you from point A to point B. That's another part of the experience of me having this for years. I realized that this is something to be enjoyed. This is therapeutical. Therapeutic? Yeah, this is therapeutic. This is better than any kind of pill, any kind of counseling that I could ever get. We all have stressful situations, whether it be family or politics, pandemics, jobs. And I've got a particularly stressful job. I'm sure you all do. It is wonderful just to sit down in here and be able to concentrate, to put on some Bond music and to experience that, and to just go and explore. And that's another aspect that's really evolved over time. I'm not just taking this out to blow out the pipes, to get it going, to keep the battery from going. I'm exploring. Right now, I'm on a back road that I'm not even familiar with. Don't even know where I'm going. Don't have Waze on, clearly. No, I am just going, and it is that Lewis and Clark, I was going to say Dick Clark, how good would that have been? Lewis and Clark type of exploration that, I don't know, when you do it in a vehicle that you're excited about and proud of, it's just unbelievable. One thing that I'm doing right now, you can kind of hear that, is I'm being careful about the engine revs. I've kind of, when I first got it, I had this whole video where I tested the loudness. It's all about loudness. Now to me, it's about performance. I still like the engine note. That hum and roll of the engine note, well, that's what you love about an Aston Martin. It's one of the aspects. It's not just the outside, it's the crunchy goodness inside that counts. But now I'm enjoying the performance of driving, of taking a corner. And not in a ramshackle, abusive way, no, but certainly in a more comfortable way than I did years ago, where I would take corners with kid gloves. Now I'm letting this performance vehicle, it's practically a race car, I'm putting it through its paces. I'm giving it the opportunity to do what it was born to do, and that is to perform, to race, to excel, all those different aspects. And you know something? I know this car is not living, but I think it appreciates it. I think it appreciates being treated like an Aston Martin and not being like, an egg with four wheels, which, again, for the first 1 to 2 years, this was an egg with two wheels. Oh. Now, I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Not a lot of straightaways here. There's a lot of curves, there's a lot of farms, occasional cows flying by. No, it's not that rule, but you get the point. There's not a great opportunity to take this on the track. I do get a lot of questions from people, would you ever take it on the track? I don't think so. The horror that I have in my head, right now at least, is what if there's a mishap? What if there's a misjudgment? Do I care so much about my body? Not as much as this body, meaning the car body. So now here I go. And there's enough wonderful dips and turns and curves for me to get the excitement and joy out of it. there's an important question we have to ask ourselves, and maybe you may be asking already. David, you clearly got this Aston Martin in this color, this configuration, the look, the feel, because of Bond, James Bond. So after all these years, does this still give me that James Bond rush? That feeling that I'm a secret agent assassin careening down the roadways to a secret mission? And the answer is an infallible, discernitive yes. Yes, maybe more so. Because again, before, it almost felt like I was borrowing this car, or leasing it, or renting it. And I felt, my gosh, I've got to be so careful. Now I will often go, like I am right now, to lunch and feel like I've been transported. I've been catapulted to a different scenario. What's the scenario? I don't know. Maybe Danielle, or D as I like to call her, the M character, is sending me out on an important mission. And that mission is, well, yes, it's getting milk, but is it just milk? Or is there microfilm in the milk? And the microfilm, what's on it? Is it the secrets to bovine excellence, or is it the secret to a government that is short on water? David, you couldn't have picked a better mission than that, like a secret volcano. You had to go for Quantum of Solace, didn't you? But I digress. Yes, the Bond feeling is there. From the moment I walk out of the garage and look at the car, to the moment I hit the emotional control button, what they call the engine start button, the turning of the key, the acceleration, the sound, the smell of the different leathers and the suede, the feel of the wheel, the different way I sit in this to my other cars, the steeliness, the acknowledgement of an occasional nod from people who know what my license plate is all about and understand perhaps what the inspiration for my purchase was. That's what makes me feel Bondish. Is this an invisible hobby moment? I don't think so. There's nothing invisible or subtle about this car at all. Not the way it drives, not the way it sounds, and not the way it looks. I think it's important to talk about maintenance. A lot of scary stories I've heard about Aston Martins, about the maintenance aspect. And I have to tell you, of course I say that and suddenly you're going to see me in a tow truck, but the maintenance has been little to nothing in many years. Yes, I've done my appropriate changes of oil, treated it right, did all the correct things I'm supposed to do, but it hasn't been expensive at all. Have I had a battery situation? I did have one, and that's because I let the battery sit. The trickle charge is your friend. My car came with a trickle charge for a reason. I kind of ignored it, or I thought I was revving it enough. It's not just a matter of starting the engine. When you have these Aston Martins, it's good to keep the trickle charge if you're comfortable with that in your garage. And so the trickle charge is your friend, but I did have to have the battery replaced. I did get an upgraded battery to the one that was in here, so in many ways it was a blessing in disguise. Outside of that, and outside of just making sure the tire pressure is good and things are clean and focused on, this has been a dream. Not just a dream to drive, but a dream to own. And of course, every now and then, sometimes you just need to focus, put on some Bond music, and just drive to the sounds of James Bond. that was some ride. Absolutely beautiful out here in the country. Wanted to just stop off real quick and kind of give a summation. So look, I don't think it's not obvious to you that I'm still gushing about this thing. It is absolutely amazing, and the experience, the emotional connection to this, as well as the physical connection to driving it, all still there. And it's actually heightened because now I'm actually more comfortable with it. Maybe it's even more comfortable with me. We've gotten to know each other. And that's what happens with time when you get a relationship. Yes, I said it, a relationship with a piece of art, a vehicle like this. All right, well, there's more roads to explore, so I'm going to do just that. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and I'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.